Welcome back to the 888 Poker Weber Cup, where this one is just too close to call. Messy scorecards from both teams, but that double from the USA could prove quite important towards the end of this game.
Well, it could do, but as the score sheet stands, that double has been counteracted by the two open frames, so that's what happens when you miss pins on with two shots. You have an open frame, and it undoes an awful lot of hard work that's gone beforehand.
Back to school then for Mike Fagan, the king of swing. Got those staggered drilled finger holes. And a lovely shot from him. He's been the player actually that's had to make the most changes. I think O'Neill's problems have stemmed, as he's admitted, from nerves, whereas Mike Fagan's issues have stemmed from just not being able to work on this lane, and he's come up with all sorts of weird and wonderful angles into the pocket.
Well, he certainly has. Yeah, you can see there he was playing pretty much deep inside, coast to coast, but at one session yesterday he came out and bowled it outside first arrow and drilled it right into the 1-3 pocket for the right hander and got quite a few strikes. So he's certainly playing around the lane, looking for those correct angles and speed.
Up steps the Moose. Already got a strike to his name in this Baker. Once again, lofts it out and comes back beautifully. That's exactly what he was looking for there.
Well, Mika was the lead-off man. He also bowls frames 5 and 9. And Stuart Williams, who's bowls frames 2, 6 and 10. So they're the finishers, they're the closers. So they're the men that you should really have, the strike makers that you should have in those sort of positions. This is a fabulous looking shot from Mika. Gets nicely wide and comes back 22 feet of back end, rips the rack and carries all 10.
Chris Barnes, that's wide, but it's come back well, but come back almost too much there. You can see how much hook they're getting on this drier, longer back end.
Yes, and it's the angle that the ball goes in kind of behind the head pin that leaves that 10 pin standing. Just probably a little too much hook from a little bit too wide. And of course the 6 pin just jumps around the 10. But a hard and straight spare ball should take care of that one.
Team Europe still in the driving seat. The one caveat I would say, I think they've flipped this Baker system, Team Europe, to take Koivuniemi away from finishing, because he has struggled in that 10th frame position. They put Stuart Williams in, but we watched Stuart Williams practicing and he just didn't look happy, Cass. He missed a lot in practice.
I think he must have missed breakfast as well, because yeah, he was searching around, shall we say.
Released.
Well, the nice thing is it's a double for Team Europe, and they're going to consolidate the little lead that they've got, and it's pins to work on.
Good looking strike, this one.
Yeah, it doesn't use too much width of the lane, gets it down a little bit light in the pocket, carries a 10 pin last of all, but that doesn't matter, it all counts, and just trying to get the crowd going on their side a bit as well.
This Barnsley crowd don't need too much encouragement, so Stuart Williams and his teammates need to keep doing that. Can be about momentum, the Weber Cup. Europe need some momentum from this Baker, and they've done well in the Bakers so far this year, and a ponderous look from Chris Barnes as another 10 pin.
Team USA have hit 3 strikes. Europe have hit 3, but more importantly, they are working on a double. We'll be looking for 3 in a row to extend that lead, because Team USA's maximum is already down to 214.
It's such a highly individual sport, and you've got 4 bowlers there that bowl for themselves. You know, they bowl for a living. They bowl to put food on the table for the family. And coming into this team situation, it is a strange way to operate. They love doing it. They love playing like this, but you can just see sometimes, you know, that it is difficult for them to work together as a unit. Osku. He was talking to that halfway down. He knew it was struggling.
That was a very important ball for Team USA. It would have given them 3 strikes on a row and could well have almost sewn this game up. Unfortunately, slightly overcooked. There's just a couple of pins standing on the deck. The 2 and the 4. It's a straightforward spare for the European captain.
But it does mean the scores edge closer once again. And as we get towards the business end, the last 3 frames of this opening match of the session. This is not done and dusted by any means, and well, all the previous Baker matches have gone right down to the wire, and this one's going to do the same by the looks of it. Yeah,
just a slightly messy scorecard there, but at the end of the day, there is a point waiting for one of these teams. And America go 3 spares in a row. They just can't seem to kick out 10, can they?
And that one, Cass, was millimetres away from being a nasty split as well.
Well, there's always that potential, yes. They're playing with brand new Brunswick pins. And any bowlers will tell you that when they're brand new, they're very heavy and very hard to knock over.
Good spare shot, though, from Bill O'Neill. But it's done further damage to the US cause.
Yeah, of course, every time they get a spare, that maximum score comes down, doesn't it?
Across to the 1-2 pocket, the Brooklyn side of the deck for Dominic Barrett, but actually gets away with it, comes up with a reasonable shot. And fiancée Cassie watching on. Great bowler herself, the Australian, not too chuffed with that shot, I don't think.
Yes, she may be having words with Dom a bit later about trying to sneak in the Brooklyn there. Sets himself up a spare ball with that unique brain ball as we've seen it. Gets the spare away nicely, but it's strikes that these guys need, not spares.
It looks pretty good in the Team Europe camp at the moment.
Well, it's frames 9 and 10 coming up, and it's down to the natural strike makers. It's Fagan and Barnes for the Americans and Koivuniemi and Williams for USA, just to finish this one off.
Big shot then for Fagan in the foundation frame. If he doesn't make this, then it really is a gift to Team Europe. Huge opportunity for the big names to walk through for the team in blue. And Fagan makes it, so keeps some pressure on. The Team USA Appreciation Society in the front row, lending their support.
Yes, a valuable shot. Sorry, Simon. A valuable shot in the foundation frame, frame 9. Gives them the opportunity to double up in the 10th with a couple of extra balls as well.
Equally big shot for Europe, and he leaves the 10. Things getting very, very edgy. And, we haven't had a roll-off yet at Weber Cup 13, but we've been pretty close on a couple of occasions now.
There is a potential here, but that will rest with Chris Barnes, whether he can double up. Mika, slightly unfortunate there, just couldn't kick that 10-pin out.
Solid spare for the Moose, and as always, gives the 10-pin a retelling off.
Well, that's the situation. Both teams can strike out for 203.
So all the pressure passing onto those broad shoulders of the Team USA captain, Chris Barnes, but he's happy to accept that responsibility in tricky times like this. And he's lined up on this lane. He has left a single 10, but that's all. And that's nicely back into the pocket. Got enough of the head pin this time rather than creeping around the back. All 10 go down. All 3 teammates get up. And we move into a potential tie scenario now if Barnes can keep these strikes flowing.
Well, that first strike certainly gave the Team USA a chance of actually winning this one. If they can go all the way and strike off with 203, there'll be huge pressure on Stuart Williams, the finisher, for Team Europe.
Chris Barnes then with another opportunity to live up to his illustrious nickname of Superman. He's done it again. One more strike, and that Team USA potential maximum of 203 will remain intact.
Puts big pressure on Stu Williams, who's going to have to strike at least twice in the 10th frame.
You wouldn't want to be in his seat right now, would you, Cass?
He knows exactly what he's got to do. He's got the score sheet close by, and it's a thumbs up from him. So, well, he's feeling confident, one would hope. But hasn't this guy finished well, the USA captain?
This ball's still important, though. He wants to get the full count here, because it could come down to just a single pin. No, Chris. Oh dear, where's that gone?
Oh crikey, it's 6.
Well, I never. We've seen it happen a couple of times in this Weber Cup, but the big last ball has just got away from them, and that came off his hand and went right out to the edge. And even with the control that Barnes has, he just couldn't get it back to the pocket in time.
A sub 200 game, it's 199, and the look of horror on Chris's face. Just unbelievable after 2 fabulous strikes. Situation is that Stu Williams needs 2 strikes and 7 pins to take this by 1.
Come on then, Stuart. We know he can do it. We know he's got the quality to finish this off for what would be a vital point. Williams then looking for the first strike. Oh, he's gone Brooklyn, and I'm afraid doesn't get the carry on the pins. And Team USA and Chris Barnes get away with it.
Certainly not the best shot from Stu Williams. Cross Brooklyn, didn't carry anything. Just really was a pretty rank bad shot, and the game's all over. It's USA that have taken the first blood, the first point in the Baker.
What a horrible moment there for Stuart Williams to have to wander back to his teammates, knowing that that was a golden opportunity spurned. And Team USA not making too much of that point. And it's obvious why, because Chris Barnes' last ball wasn't really the ticket, but it was good enough. 199 beats 180. Team USA claim another point. Confirmation then that it remains all red at the moment. Team USA pick up the first point of session 4 in the Baker game. And they've got plenty of great performers still to come. USA lead then 12-7. Tony Wrighton is with Chris Barnes.
Thanks. Chris, how do you feel?
Well, a little bit relieved. I thought maybe I gave Stu too much of a chance there, and I'm happy to get the first 2 to make him show up, but I wanted to make sure he couldn't do any better than tie.
We had the cameras right in your face on that last ball, and the commentators described it as a look of horror. What happened there?
More disgust. Yeah, I knew as soon as I threw it that it was too far right, and you know, there's been out of bounds to the right the whole time, and I just got it to no man's land. So you're hoping for 9 there at best, but I got about what I deserved out of that shot. 6 is about as good as you can hope for.
Difficult, though, to adapt to the lane when it's a team game, isn't it? Yeah,
you don't get a lot of shots. You get 2 practice balls. The pattern's 3 feet shorter than the last session, and so everybody's making some different moves. Different guys have better looks right now, and we're all feeling our way through in that first Baker game, and this time we survived.
And you'll take a low-scoring point.
We'll take any points we can get. So it puts us up 5. We're in really good shape. We have some mistake room now, and we think we got our guys in the right positions moving forward.
Okay, Chris, you have quite a bit of support here in Barnsley today, so congratulations, well done. A point to you. There you go, the American captain, Chris Barnes, wins another point, and the Americans are now 5 ahead.